Hello, everyone. Let's start our meeting. I have a mask because my daughter was home from Riverbrook last week with a very mild case of COVID. All is good, but for safety concerns, I'm wearing a mask. Shall we do the approval of September minutes?
Did everybody get a copy?
Did you all look at it?
I sent it in the town email. Okay.
So, a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Say so moved. So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We still don't have this right. New business, the director search. We go on.
Were there any applicants thus far?
One,
the advertising?
possibly two.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
So next Friday, Michael and I will review what we have, and then we'll move on. That's all I have for that, unfortunately. If we get, I would like to advertise in the Eagle also. So if we get no more responses next week, we can either keep it open, just accept the two we have, one which is very viable, or advertise more. All right, so I'll let you know.
yep.
The October and November speaker series. Here are our flyers went out last week. I want to thank the ladies that helped with it, Nancy Wilcox and others from the bingo group. I was home with Kaylin, so they took it all, did it all in one afternoon and mailed them out the next day. So I appreciate all of you. The September luncheon was a grand success. Pat Flynn spoke and showed a slideshow. We had fun with pizza and make your own sundae. And then the Berkshire Strummers, a great ukulele group, they played for us. You are Nancy, but have a seat. Glad you could make it.
Hi, Nancy. Hi.
Hey, get yourself settled.
I'm ready.
Okay, you're ready.
Bring it on.
So that was a great time. The ukulele group is a lot of fun. We'll ask them to come again. They were great.
very good.
They're a lot of fun. The October gathering, Jack will be back. Everybody's very happy about that. We're having Joshua Hall, the historian from the library. He's wonderful. We had a great turnout for him last time. He's very entertaining. But he's a teacher, so he can't come until 3, so it's not going to be a luncheon. That's what we did last year when Joshua spoke. It will be start at 2. We'll have Jack play. He's planning Halloween themed songs and trivia, and we will have prizes for the trivia. And then we're going to have pies and coffee and tea, and then Joshua was going to speak at 3. And his theme is, we didn't write, oh yes, I did write it down here, Ice Glen. It's going to be the history of Ice Glen with a spooky touch, which is great because it works off what Pat Flynn discussed last month on the history of Laurel Hill. So we're staying in that area, and it'll be fun. We did on the flyer November's activity also, which will be Veterans Agent Tom Beasley. So we encourage all veterans and spouses of veterans to come. It will be a luncheon. I haven't decided on the food yet. I think it'll probably be on a turkey theme, turkey sandwiches or something like that.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah. And then we're going to have this will be the second annual Alice's Restaurant rendition. Were you here for that last?
Yes, I was.
Wasn't that fun?
That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was a lot of fun. So I have thought that maybe we would ask some of our local infamous people. Michael Canales, unfortunately, or fortunately for him, will be on vacation. because that would have been fun. But we'll ask the police chief, the fire chief, some selectmen, local yokels to do a verse, because as you know, remember, there's many verses.
Yeah.
And that'll be fun. So if anyone's listening, your input would be great. And anyone can join in on the song. The more the merrier. So that'll be on November 15th at 11. So we'll go back to our regular time. And remember, for both gatherings, you must RSVP. That is a must, so we know how much food to order. Are you all good with that?
Sounds
Any
great.
questions? Okay, I'm starting a new activity, a game day. Starting Thursday, November 2nd. It'll be at 2:00. I hope we have a turnout. A lot of people on the survey said they wanted games. So Michael is ordering checkers for us, backgammon. I'm just learning backgammon. I'm a slow student to it. My neighbor and friend has been very patient with me. Backgammon and Scrabble. I love Scrabble. So, and then we could work, we have the two sisters, Shirley Miller and her sister that live near Joe, that have offered generously for a long time to do bridge. It's bridge, right? They play and teach it, which I would like to learn. But I believe they can't do Thursdays, and Thursdays was the best for me anyways, for game day. So we'll work on it. We'll work on, if the game day works out, then we can work in bridge also on another day. But that's encouraging. Activity.
Shirley's sister is a kind of a famous puppeteer,
Shirley
Miller.
sister?
Her sister Joanna,
Oh,
she does Chinese marionettes.
no kidding. Oh, I have to ask her that.
She's quite well known for it.
Interesting.
Need to ask her.
Yes, maybe she could be for one of our luncheons, one of our entertainers. Activities research, I've been working on that. I've contacted a couple of places. What I'd like to do in December is maybe a wreath making class.
A what?
A wreath, Christmas wreaths. I've connected with Taft Farm. I've got somebody checking on the botanical garden for me. And we would have the wreaths made, but then do the decorating and have it here as an activity. Taft, they're very nice. She called me this morning and left a message. They are flat out during that time and to try to, pull off a class and others. So I'm hoping on the botanical garden. I was thinking maybe we could pull it off ourselves with wreaths. I don't know how to do the big bows.
The bows,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you?
You don't know how to do what? I don't know what's wrong with my ear.
The big bows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tricky. You have to buy them at the dollar store.
I do know someone that perhaps would do it.
Good. Good.
Yeah, she works with my son,
Oh,
and
great.
she's great, but let me
Hi,
see what I
gentlemen.
can.
Is there any interest in talking to the art teacher that I have up there at Eaton Court that said she,
That we just spoke about. Yes, please do.
all right.
Because I also would like to do any sort of art or craft class.
Okay.
That was just my thought, to get something going in November or December that's seasonal, that we might get a nice little group for.
Do you want her to call you or email you?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. That would be great.
Okay, I'll talk to Diane and see if it's
Awesome.
something that she's interested in.
Awesome. Any other suggestions?
For activities?
Yeah. Or we could let that ride. I mean, we're really doing the best we can right now without a director. So we could let those kind of things ride for a while.
Might be fun though. People, I
Well,
think
that's what
people
I-
would enjoy it.
Exactly, and that's what I, with the Christmas,
And you can actually buy the wreaths. We did it for church once. And you can buy the wreaths at Price Chopper or Big
Exactly.
Y and then decorate them.
and decorate, yes. So that's what I'm thinking, that if worst comes to worst, we could do it and buy all the supplies if we would just learn how to make a bow.
Yeah, well, maybe she'll even come and teach us how to, she tried to teach us once, but it didn't work.
Oh, okay, because I went to one with my daughter. It was a mother and daughter wreath making group at a farm near her. And the bows are a big deal. We all wanted our own personal touch with the bows.
Right.
And they made the bows for us. So we did all the decorating and we certainly and then we can discuss costs or whatever at another time. But anyways, that's my thought. Moving on, old business. The yoga class, is this where we should ask for or open forum, Michael?
It's up to the chair. You can recognize whoever you want.
All right, Dawn, I see you're here. Would you like to speak about the yoga class?
I would like it very much. And I'm primarily here just to point out some things. It's not a battle. Point out some of the things that I think are relevant to this class and the importance of them relating to the health and wellness of the seniors in this community. I've been asked by AARP to write an article. I sent them a title of what I wanted to write about, and they encouraged me to write it. I haven't got to it yet, but it's called Getting Old is New. It's about all the things that happen when you get to about 65 and older. The joint pains, the visual, all the things that start showing up, and everybody here, some of you haven't had that experience yet, but it does happen. And so that's why, for me, the idea of having chair yoga, which, by the way, is not regular yoga. Regular yoga has an image of being rigorous, strenuous, athletically oriented, and chair yoga is not. Chair yoga is very soft, smooth body movements. It's mental, physical, spiritual. It has a complete component that augments and enhances the health and wellness of the seniors. Well, there's a cultural conditioning about aging and citizens and elderly, that they are a particular way. And as a result, the senior citizens themselves live within that framework, within that context. They act old. They do old things. And not necessarily and why the chair yoga is so important is because it'll pull them out of, it'll encourage activity, it'll encourage movement, it'll encourage more vital activities that will enhance the quality of their lives. See, that I live in a place where I know most of the people sit and watch television all day long, and then they, I was going to say waiting to die, but that would be a little bit too much. But it is a particular image that elderly people have of themselves, that they're supposed to not be active, they're supposed to be with canes and wheelchairs and crutches. But that's not the true image of, I'm 81 years old. I'm not using myself as an example of somebody that's completely out there physically, but I know what it's like to not be active. I know the toll it takes on your health and wellness and your well-being in the world. If you're not active and moving, you're pulling into yourself, and you're old. You become old by thinking you're old. know that there's much more to it, but it's just the importance of, I've been invited to meet with the Board of Health, which they're not connected to this activity, but the whole idea, the whole notion of health, I don't know what they do that's related to health. I know they're an important board in the community, they do a lot, but I don't know how, where their focus is on health. This chair yoga is about health and wellness. It's not about, it's about health and wellness. So that's my position, my stand, my commitment. And I will die in that commitment. To have something people move outside of old. You can be old, you can be elderly, you can be a senior citizen, but you don't have to live there in that notion. You can be out and active and moving and into various activities. Just look and see what's the next activity I can get involved in. What can I do to better my health? That's not the approach of elderly, because it's not in the cultural conditioning. Cultural conditioning says you're old. You can't do this, you can't do that. You need to be protected, you need to be health, you need all kinds of assistance. It just doesn't fit in my reality.
Okay, Dawn, thank you. We're open for discussion about this.
Well, I'll start right off.
Michael Canales, Town
Mike,
Administrator.
Town Administrator. The board should be establishing criteria for the programs that you offer, of where you are going to pay for an instructor and what the participation levels should be. We've talked before, there are a couple options that we can offer to programs. One is where we're paying the instructor, and then we should have a minimum amount of participants in order to hold that. The other one is if it's a program that benefits the seniors, and it's been talked about that we could offer the space for free, but they would have to pay the instructor themselves, or the instructor would have to volunteer their time. And then, of course, it could be somebody that just wants to do something on their own, that wants to rent the space and use it, charge or do whatever. So there's three different approaches. But what I would caution the board on is just saying that any one individual program, just weighing the benefits, you have to set a criteria. You really have to establish a criteria and say, this is what the levels need to be in order for us to be sponsoring the program completely, which means we're supplying the space, we're paying an instructor. And once you guys set that, you should be sticking to those numbers. And then, like I said, we can offer, like I said, the space for free, but not pay the instructor as the secondary tier of offering a program. And that would be like bingo. Bingo, no one's paid to run bingo. We offer the space, then there's a bingo group that runs it. So, so those are different things you can look at. I would recommend that you have that policy in place, and we don't get into debating the merits of individual programs. I think what it is, and we talked about this before, starting a program, running it for a couple sessions, maybe a fall season and a winter season, to see about attendance and seeing whether a program you think is a good fit for the community can draw enough participation. But if it doesn't draw enough participation, then at some point you have to say, no, we think this program isn't one that we're going to sponsor completely. So.
Right, and the issue for those that may be watching, that those aren't aware, the chair yoga wasn't drawing in enough people. It had been well over a year that we were sponsoring it, and we still had a very low turnout for it. So the decision was ultimately made to stop it. And it's, like Michael said, she can use the space for free. Don't think we can be any more accommodating than that. Dawn?
I have a question. I don't understand why the differential between 3 people and 11 people would be an element that's considered for paying an instructor. Because why should the 3 people be I was going to say punished, but not allowed to attend something that, because, and I know this is a part of my position here, is that I need to promote to other seniors to come to the class. And I've dropped the ball in that category. But now that it's the number of, if there's 3 people, no money. If there's 11 people, there's money. But the instructor is doing exactly the same with 3 as she would be doing with 12. So that I don't understand the differential.
It's strictly a return on investment. We cannot be paying instructors. Are we gonna, so if we have 10 programs downstairs that have 1 person come to each program, we're gonna pay an instructor for each one? You have to set a criteria. You have to say, this is the criteria we are going to use. That we believe this program benefits seniors first and foremost, and that there is enough attendance. The original, while the program's getting up and started, I think there should be some leeway in how many people are coming to the class. But if the class isn't showing growth, it isn't showing enough, that there's enough participants that want to participate in that program, then it's not a successful program for this board to consider investing its resources in. And it really comes down to that. You have to set a number. Because like I said, are you going to allow one-on-one programming? And we're going to pay instructors for it? You know, you'll quickly run out of money.
Right.
And not be able to offer the programs that need to be offered. Yes, it is arbitrary, but at some point you have to set what is a group lesson, what are we paying an instructor for, and what is the minimum participation that we'll supply. You know, something the board could consider is if you wanted to give one more chance to say, we're gonna run it for one more season, but we need to get the attendance up to at least 10 people, then put it on the participants that are in it and the instructor to say, we're gonna have one more shot, one more season, we'll run it for X weeks, and if we see that the participation level is there, because as you said, you're willing to go out and promote and try to get it, that would allow us to build a
Michael, thank you. I will take that on.
well, it's up to them.
I will take on promoting it to the seniors in the community. I don't have anything to do, this is not my issue. And I understand the bureaucratic position is very strong against this. Now, I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to get the people, the throngs coming into the building so that you would allow this teacher to be paid. So that's where my stand is.
Patrick?
Regular, sorry. No, go ahead.
I wonder if it's not a moment to take a step back. You make an excellent point on health and wellness and moving and all these things. And you've got the walking program, which is wonderful. Have we asked the town seniors, and maybe it's as simple as a survey with the next flyer?
Well, Roxanne did the survey.
Do the survey specifically on health and wellness.
No, not
I
specifically.
think that, so let me finish then. And
Okay.
I think that the question of health and wellness is one that I think merits funding and merits discussion. And you've got challenges in the summer months versus the winter months. And my suggestion is, we've got a lot of seniors in this town, let's ask them what they want to see for health and wellness as a little mini survey, and let them give us ideas. And it's not just check off 5 options. It's a little bit of a narrative where people can write a response and say, we can set up a quick survey and try to get some ideas, and then prioritize those ideas based on both the number of responses or the quality of ideas of the responses, and then decide whether it's, because funding is always, there's always a finite amount of funding, and the highest best use should be what we want to go for. And I guess I would be wondering what the people of the town think, and maybe we should just ask them specifically.
It's a good thought. We could do that.
I will say that, as I've spoken to Chris, and maybe not all of you, I spent right out of college 10 years running the Williamstown Youth Center. Programming was around kids, and you'd be surprised, a lot of the regulations for kids and seniors is actually the same from how you have to run the program. But we ran a lot of art classes, fitness classes, things like that. And yes, we would occasionally put out surveys. We'd also have instructors come to us with unique programs, and we try them for, like I said, an example is give them a season or 2 to see if that program was successful, but we would advertise it and things like that. So try to drum up support, plus we get parents involved who are behind bringing an instructor to us and things like that. So I think it could be a multi-pronged approach, but it still didn't change even then. We still had to make decisions on, all right, we only have, a lot of times it was the opposite. You get the first week or two, you get 10, 15 kids showing up, and then for whatever reason, it could be the instructor, it could be whatever, but within weeks it fizzled. And then you had other programs that started small and all of a sudden just took off. So sometimes you don't even know what's gonna, I would advocate the board continues to offer unique programs and the rest, but that's still, I hate to say it, the bureaucratic number that you still have to say, what is the goal of this program for us to continue the support going forward in order for the resources, for you guys to deploy the resources in an adequate way.
I would just also add that there's many different yoga specific offerings within 10 miles of here, including the largest one in almost maybe the entire United States. And I might suggest also just seeing if you could, 12 instructors doing a volunteer half hour once every quarter would create an offering that would maybe be in their interest for, helping folks test out instructors, but also might be a way to make an offering like this with, without.
I wish we'd get that kind of interest in for instructors
And
to
that's our-
come here, because,
That's our middle level, which is exactly that. I mean, Chris is running the walking program.
Yeah.
So we don't care how many people come. We're only offering space.
Right.
We're not paying somebody to facilitate the
I'm gonna say,
program.
you bring in a Kabbalah or,
Yeah.
lots of them.
right,
Standing Ranch, there's a lot of folks who use town resources, like the boat landing and other, little meadows and it's not like asking the good folks in Mirabal and Canyon Ranch and Rapallo and all the other places that are certainly taking advantage of town resources. Can you get back a little, whether it's an instructor once a month or whatever?
good thought.
I'm happy to help you make that call. I know some of those. So, yeah.
Don?
One last thing, I would like to thank this gentleman for brilliant input. Thank you,
Thank you, Patrick.
Patrick.
Yeah.
All right, any discussion from the board on this? Nancy, you had a thought?
Besides chair yoga, you're not having any classes for regular yoga?
We have yoga on, regular yoga on Mondays and Thursdays at 4:00.
Okay.
Yes, and right now we do the walking. I think it's a good, Patrick's idea of doing a survey, it's particularly on health and wellness, is a good idea. You all agree?
Agree?
I do.
Yeah, so we could start out there. As far as the suggestion that we do the chair yoga and give it another try, will we have to put that on an agenda for next month and vote on it, or can,
Well, what you have on the agenda here is discussion of program.
it's under old business yoga, but no
You already
vote.
have it there. Yeah, you have it there. So if you want to take action right now, what I would do is establish with the instructor a period that we're going to run it for. Say we run it for the winter season,
6 weeks,
6 weeks.
6-week increments.
Starting in January, do you think? She's gone now, so,
So do
Why don't we just coordinate when she's back to run a 6-week again?
Okay.
With the goal of seeing where the program can get to. I would just maybe have the chair be the point to set up the initial 6-week period, time it where we can put it out with a newsletter
right,
so that we can advertise too. So we try to advertise it.
right.
And give a chance to say, and if we can get that program to grow, we'd love to see it succeed. But it needs to succeed.
One last thing, I think that if you had some kind of program where you could, where Antoinette, the yoga chair yoga teacher, she's back on the 27th of this month. I just heard from her. So if she was able to do a presentation, first it was announced that there was going to be a chair yoga presentation, a class, an introduction, a promotion that people could come to and find out what it's like. Because there's an image of yoga that is totally separate from chair yoga. there's this, when
I think-
when I think about yoga, from the years that I've done it when I was younger, it's a different ballgame altogether.
Well, having said that, Antoinette's getting back the end of this month. I could speak with her about doing a presentation here, a brief one, for our November meeting. All in agreement?
Yes.
You think
Yes.
that's a good idea? All right, you want to do that?
All right, so she's going on November.
So then we could vote in November, yay or nay, and start it for 6 weeks in January. Does that sound reasonable to everyone?
We may want to, yeah, discuss different maybe days or times. Maybe.
Yeah. If the dates, time, what works, you know.
Yep.
Talk about it and then make sure to coincide it with, that we can get an advertisement out. So we
Right.
can try to make this successful.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, congratulations, Dawn. You're a one-man army.
No, well, first of all, contrary to the sounding of this bureaucratic thing that I said, the members of this group are extraordinary in that they are, let's say, above and beyond the confines of bureaucracy. So I thank you all for your
Oh, that's nice. We don't get thank yous. Thanks, Dawn. We appreciate that. Okay, shall we move on? Everybody in agreement? Okay. The foot nurse. I
This
gave
is
you.
good though, Chris. You got
I talked to Beverly Dunn, the woman that used to do it with Liz. And she no longer is coming to senior centers. She does in-home visits. And might I add, her in-home visits are still cheaper than what this foot care for nurses is charging. It's a big organization and it's out of Greenfield. And they charge a lot of money for it. And so I want you all to think about it. And we'll get back to it. We'll continue this till next month. Because different senior centers handle it differently as far as a copay for the client. And it goes anywheres from $7.50 in Lennox, because they have a grant for it, to $30 for the patient. If they don't show up, we still have to pay. They want 2 clients an hour, 4 hours, once a month. When I talked to Beverly about how many people Liz would get, it was very, very few. Very few. And yet, when I looked over Roxanne's survey, there were 6 people that said they would be interested in foot care. So 6 people, that would take 2 hours, but we need to guarantee 4 hours and pay for that 4 hours.
How much is it?
I will have to get this in larger print for you.
110 per hour. We generally invoice 50 per hour for the base rate, 30 per person. This way we are not billing for people who sign up but are unable to attend.
Yes, so we could break it down to a patient pays $30, we would pay 25, that would be 55 per person. It would, it's confusing.
30 is reasonable. If
Pardon me?
the person that's having it done would only be paying $30.
That's one formula to do it. Different towns do it in different ways. And before next month, after you've had time to read this and think about it, I'll also send you out information on what the other towns are doing, so we can judge how to do it. But overall, they require 4 hours. And I have maybe 6 people that noted they were interested. I don't know if we're going to pull it off with them. I do have, Beverly gave me another woman to call that does it on her own also. I gave her a call. She has not returned my call. I will call her again. So she's our last hope for a reasonably priced, because Beverly only charges $45.
45? Because at Seven Salon, they charge like $65. So 30 is a deal.
Well, these are certified nurses for foot care. So someone had suggested to me, why don't we do a local nail salon place and have them come? You know, the legalities of that, Michael, would be
Yeah.
insurance-wise, a horror show.
I've only seen it where you bring in nurses that are doing medical foot care.
And certified.
Yeah, certified medical. You know, this is another example of, with proper advertising and the rest, what interest will we give? What are we charging people? You guys determine that. Once again, you could run it for like 3 months and then see where the program is and whether or not we can create enough interest in the program, once again, to justify the program running. And I never think that it's a bad idea. If it's something that can benefit the health of the seniors, I think it should be tried and then evaluated. And mainly it's about how can we advertise it? And 6 people on the survey, you know, you still didn't hear from a lot of people. So,
Correct,
you
correct.
know,
People
there might
don't
be
like filling out the
definitely
surveys.
more interest out there than 6, but it needs to be well advertised when we start it. Announcements maybe at the select board level, at different board levels, bringing up that, you know, trying to drum up support, get something in the local, you know, Stockbridge updates, Berkshire Edge, you know, new programs being offered, maybe get a column going or something every time we offer a new program. Things that can see if we can drive the people to do it, because once again, if we got the people coming, it's a great investment in the seniors and their health.
Right.
So we shouldn't be shy about spending the money. It's just whether or not, you know, the program becomes sufficiently used enough to justify it. So I think you should be trying all of them. The question now is, do you wait until we have
A director.
Right.
So,
That's another big part of this. The director has to facilitate this as far as do collect the payments, also make the appointments, call and remind people on the appointments. So it's the senior center director or whomever the director can find to volunteer to do it has to take care of all the clerical and all the details. They just charge you and send the nurse, and then we take care of everything else. So again, that would be a nice thing to have when we have a director. But having said all this, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to do a survey for health and wellness. Along with that, we could publicize, in that survey, ask who's interested in a foot nurse. And again, I could contact this foot nurse network and plan that again for January. Let's start chair yoga, let's start foot nurse, anything else that comes up for January. But that means a lot of publicizing, as you said. We got to do some big time
we need to
publicizing.
push the advertisement of the programs.
Yes.
Make sure people are aware these are happening. They're available. I mean, right now, just letting people, you know, like even the yoga that we have running right now, you know, we pay the instructor, come and join the class.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so, you know, we can't make it better than that.
Right,
I
right.
can also give out all this information too, because these people will make home visits. They're expensive.
Yeah.
Until you get it started. You know, the Beverly Dunn and these people.
Yes, right.
Get the info out.
Yep. Okay, moving on, the September luncheon, I already briefly discussed that in opening, that it was a grand success. Everybody had a good time. We had a really good turnout. We had, I want to say 35 people, so it was a lot of fun. We discussed October and November. The monthly shopping trip opened up a whole can of worms for me. when I started researching it. I, for one, was not aware of the Tri-Town Connector. Any of you aware of Tri-Town Connector?
Oh, I was.
You were. It's done with a grant, correct?
Yeah.
So it's only for a year, but will that grant likely continue?
So once again, the quote, the bureaucratic end, that basically the grant had to prove certain things in order to get further funding from the state.
Okay.
Which includes usage, everything else,
So we need to publicize it big time here, so it continues now. I was not aware of it. It's a great program. It offers, it has a great schedule, 8:30 to 7:30, 8:30 to 6:30 on Sundays, 8:30, 7:30 on Saturdays, weekdays 7 to 8. You call a number for it. What I want to do is I need to contact Tate, who initiated the program, and I'd like to get some flyers from him. And we need to publicize it. I've already spoken with Carol Owens briefly to
I
put
can
it.
probably get flyers. Is Tate still running it or is?
Patrick, Tate still running it?
I don't know.
I thought it was Coleman.
Take his Coleman.
It is, that is,
Oh, Tate Coleman, all right, yeah. I'm forgetting who's.
Yeah, he's
running.
that, the one next to you was like a 12 or something.
Yeah.
and I have an issue every time I go onto their site. Now, you got information when we spoke yesterday that I was not able to get when I do Tri-Town.
It's just www.tritown.org.
I did it again this morning a few times and I get nothing.
Yeah, so there was some good information there.
Yes, yes.
One-way fares, travel within one town, $2, travel between towns, $4. Egremont, Great Barrington, Monterey, Stockbridge, and West Stockbridge.
And they
For
have to,
travel to Pittsfield, they're limiting that to Mondays and Wednesdays, it looks like, due to staffing. Seniors can buy discounted book of tickets for 10 one-way rides at the Claire Teague Senior Center. Ticket books may also be purchased on the vans and at other local senior centers. So you could, or director could offer that.
Do we do that now?
No,
I-
we're getting up to speed on that, but not, yeah.
right. We need to get this out there for our seniors. It's so exciting and the price is so so reasonable compared to what they pay for the commuter. van.
Cabulance is
Yes.
very expensive, I hear.
Yes,
Can the seniors, I'm sorry, can I ask,
yes, go.
can the senior center purchase a book of tickets to be used by multiple seniors?
That's a good question, Mr.
If so, I would suggest you buy $50 worth of tickets and start giving them away. Yeah, let people actually test the service out and, got $50? I'll pay half, Mike, what do you think?
So technically, I don't know if you can do that.
Always the guy.
The killjoy.
Asking for a
Because
friend.
how do you choose who you're giving it to and the rest? And,
True.
usually you have.
It's a great idea, though.
Because you can't use taxpayer money to benefit other taxpayers
No.
privately, so, yes.
I have what we call flex funds. You guys don't have any of that? For our RSC program that we can do fun stuff with.
So the senior center could probably use, and I believe there's still 300, there is a gift account, which then would not be limited by use of taxation, because you're not supposed to use, you're not supposed to use taxes to benefit private parties.
Right.
So that's all.
And we have $300 in a gift account?
I believe, I'll get you the numbers of
Okay.
what's in each of the accounts.
I would love
Because the
that.
gift account definitely has more flexibility to be used for anything, while taxpayer money falls under different regulations. Yeah.
But what taxpayer in our town of Stockbridge that are mostly elderly?
Well, last time we looked
check
into
to
this
a
was around
booklet?
getting food cards for during
Yeah,
COVID.
during COVID.
And then the issue was the only way you could use the money to give others is you had to have a program to evaluate that they qualified for low income. You have to.
Oh, my.
So you just can't take it because technically anybody could walk in and ask for it, and then you're just basically taking taxpayers' money from some people and giving it to others and what criteria they're using, so just be aware that.
The second half of that story is that then some of us worked with the Congregational Church to set up a little food pantry in the back and donated to that with private funds. So there is often maybe a way to accomplish the goal, which would be to get some seniors to test out the service and see if they like it without necessarily using government money to do it. And if you need to buy $50 in tickets, you know.
Well, I'm pretty sure they have, I think it was 300 or more in the gift account, which would, you could use that because it was private donation.
Give it out as prizes.
We could, that's a good thought too. See, when great minds work together. I would be game for, if we pull this off, doing it from the gift account. That gift account has been there from Liz days. The days of Liz, right? I don't think we've
Probably.
used it, well, I was never aware of it, so.
I was never aware of it.
None of those accounts have been hit since before COVID.
Before COVID.
So, yeah.
Are we all in
Birthday's
agreement?
coming up, just so you know.
What- I missed that. Okay, we could, can we vote on that now, that what we would use?
Sure, that you're using
gift
it from the
account?
gift account, and then we'll confirm how much. If
Okay.
you're just getting a book of 50 to begin, yeah. I know there's more than 50. I'm pretty sure it was 300.
Okay.
In there, but I'm going off the top of my head.
Well, I'm thinking 2 books of 50 is what I'm thinking. Go big or go home. Are we all in agreement? We'll do
We
one book?
want one book.
book.
I'll make the motion to purchase the $50 from the gift account.
Second?
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Woo-hoo. Okay.
So the monthly shopping trip though, you're gonna put that on hold?
I'm
until
putting
you-
that on hold.
Monthly
yes.
shopping trip on hold till director.
Where can you go on these shopping trips?
Well, we were going to establish one, and we were gonna make it down to, Great Barrington, to the.
Marshalls.
Marshalls, Dollar Store, Price Chopper, more bang for your buck down there. And we've kind of been just floating it along. And then I found out about this whole Tri-Town thing. Which, why wait for a bus and spend more money when we can do this? All right, anyways, moving on. We have open forum now. Anybody got anything more?
Yeah, Michael, sorry. Open to public or just the board?
Open forum for you,
For
the
you.
public.
A few things. One, there's a Halloween walk. Does anybody know what the date of that is? I was just trying to find it because I know Vinny sent me, the fire chief sent it. But there's a candlelight walk through for Halloween that we're resurrecting this year. And it might be something that your members or, that, our population would very like to know about. So I just want to let people know.
Okay.
It's going to be sometime, when is Halloween? It's end of October, yes.
Right.
There's also the Children's Parade, which is, I think, October 27th. Yep. So it's just another thing to pay attention to, 2 fun events. We have a special town meeting October 23rd. And there's some question about whether or not folks will show up because of Egremont may vote on the 21st and may vote it down. It doesn't make it moot, and the reason why it's really important for people to show up is that the senior work-off, which is up to $1,500 in tax relief for taxpayers, is gonna be on that because we need to reauthorize the program or something for the town to be able to operate for this tax cycle from the bills in November and April. So it's really important that we get 50 people to show up for the October 23rd, 6 PM town meeting. If for no other reason than to authorize the senior tax work-off. So that if 5 or 10 seniors needed, a little bit of a break on their taxes, we could provide it by just having them show up and helping stuff envelopes or do whatever.
Exactly. It's such an important program. And we haven't always had it, or have not had it.
Yes. I was.
We used to have it, but it was never voted on in town hall. So, Mr. Boyce got here and said we can't offer it without actually going through the process, because that's the law.
All right, so we need to get our folks out
And I say
there.
that with all love, and
Yeah.
kindness, I'm not criticizing it. Of course, we should follow the law. So getting people to show up on October 23rd, very important, for the senior workout.
What day is the Halloween walk? And
When is the 27th?
It's a Friday.
it's a Friday, and that is.
That's the children's
27th.
parade. Is that the Halloween walk too? They're two different things?
Trick or treat usually is the 31st from 5 to 7.
Okay,
Usually, but it hasn't, the select board, I think, has to approve that.
okay.
And where did they do it? Down here in town or?
What do you mean, the parade? It usually starts at St. Paul's and comes around onto Main Street, and it used to come to Town Hall, but now it stops at the Stockbridge Library.
Oh,
No, robbed.
Well, it's a shorter walk for the little ones in the cold.
Or access to donuts.
Yeah.
That's all I got, thanks.
All right, and Patrick, we discussed at the transfer station. I want to mention the swap shop is,
Shed,
I think it's open.
yeah. So there's a new, we used to have
Swap shed.
We used to have a new swap shop that, when we built the new building, had some handicap ramp issues. The great folks in Town Hall and at the Highway Department have built us a new swap shed, which if you've been down to the dump is the little building between where you throw your trash and recycle your bottles. And that's now open certain days. And I think we should get an announcement in the newsletter, just let people know that they can go down and take stuff or add stuff in the shed at any time. That it's open, something like that.
That's good to know.
our newsletter is getting fatter and fatter.
We'll have to do two sides going next month.
This is my publisher here, Patrick White. Thank you very much to Patrick White. Okay, that's all I've got. Anybody else? Okay, our next meeting will be on Wednesday, November 8th, same place, same time, 10 o'clock. Okay, and motion to end our meeting.
Make a
I make a
motion.
motion.
You so All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody.